Welcome back to News Talk. We're back now with Council Chairman Phil Mendelson. And, you know, I want to move on to the marijuana laws in the district right now, because this fall, D.C. residents were allowed to start possessing up to 2 ounces of marijuana. They can grow it at home, but they still can't buy or sell it within the city limits, right? Now we've got council talking about maybe relaxing some of these rules for private outdoor spaces. Tell us about that.
Actually, it was the other way around. There was a law that part of the law which we adopted a year ago, prohibited marijuana use in private clubs. The concern coming from the executive and the chief of police that we don't have a regulatory scheme around marijuana, and that some enterprising individuals would figure out that what they could do is, I don't know, set up a private club in somebody's house, charge you $50 to get in, and then give you the marijuana free. It's just a kind of a way around the prohibition on selling it. Now, anybody who's watching this who hasn't been paying attention may wonder, well, why don't we just regulate it? Well, that's because Congress stepped in the middle of all this and said, after the initiative was passed that legalized marijuana, and said we couldn't do anything to lessen criminal restrictions on marijuana. Well, it's illegal to sell marijuana in the district, and the initiative didn't change that. So we are unable to develop a regulatory scheme as long as that congressional rider exists. It's very frustrating. It's not just frustrating from a home rule point of view, but it's like we're caught in the middle of between decriminalizing and legalizing marijuana and adopting a regulatory scheme. We ought to be treating marijuana like alcohol, but we can't get there because Congress just has this very crudely constructed prohibition on our changing the law, the criminal law. And so therefore we have to maintain the status quo, and that's what the debate was about this week. Was that the measure was expired after a year? It's just the way it came about, and in the debate over renewing it, for a brief second there was a majority but not a supermajority, and for a brief second it looked like it was going to expire. But we're maintaining the status quo.
How is it going overall, the marijuana laws in the district? I mean, are there any problems that have cropped up?
Well, it continues to be the law that it's illegal to smoke in public, and increasingly I think we're seeing people violating that. I do not know to the extent to which it's being enforced. Part of the reason why we decriminalized marijuana, that is, said that it would be legal, is because we really want police attention on more important concerns. Now, having said that, I think generally people have accommodated themselves to the change in the law. I don't hear complaints about it in my office.
I want to move on to keeping people safe in and around their homes. And D.C. Council passed a bill unanimously this week that it's a rebate system. So you can get a security camera, put it up outside your home, and then you can go to the city and say, I'd like a rebate, and the city coughs in some money. How does that work?
Well, it's not quite that simple. I can't just go to Home Depot, buy a camera, put it up, and then bill the city. It's a program that one has to go through the city. Part of the debate was that we want people to be able to get a voucher so they could go out and buy, but it might be a rebate. Either way, that they have to go through the city first. Because the whole point of these cameras is that they've got to be useful to the police department. So they've got to be cameras that the police department can use, of a quality the police department can use, in case the camera is relevant to a criminal investigation. That's what it's about. One thing that hasn't gotten enough attention is that we really need to prioritize this, because there are a lot of folks who, you know, if you tell them they can have a free camera, they're going to say, well, I want a free camera. I want a camera in my backyard, let's say. And it's going to cost us a lot of money and not get a lot of benefit, not get us any benefit in terms of being able to solve crime. So we need to have some sense of priority here.
So where is the city getting the money for this program?
Well, we budgeted about $500,000. And if you think about it, that's not a lot if cameras cost maybe $200 with installation, maximum $500. So it's not that they're going to be hundreds of thousands of cameras. But we put aside $500,000, and I think, you know, we will get this refined so that it's a program that's useful.
All right, we've got this new initiative it's called Vision Zero Initiative, put forth by the mayor, and it's to kind of talk about tickets for moving violations in the city, and they could get very expensive. We're hearing some tickets could be as high as $1,000.
Yeah.
Tell us about this.
Okay. Well, Vision Zero, the concept of Vision Zero, which is not unique to the district, is zero fatalities related to traffic incidents. And it's a good goal. It may be difficult to achieve literally, but it's a good goal. And so Vision Zero, I think, is by 2020, something like that, there will be zero fatalities on our roads, pedestrians or automobile crashes. So part of this initiative is to look at what the fines are for various infractions. And so far, so good. But what was proposed was, in many instances, in my view, excessive, and I think a lot of folks agree. You know, the reality is that you don't have a deterrent effect just because you have a more expensive fine. We're going back to the discussion at the top about guns, longer sentence. So we could make a sentence for gun conviction 100 years. Is that going to have an effect? Well, we can make the fine for speeding $10,000. Actually, what you get then is you get a lot of blowback from the public that says it's completely unreasonable. We saw it in Virginia a few years ago when they proposed, I think it was $1,500 tickets for speeding on Interstate 95. You've got to have the right balance. And the reality is that nobody likes a ticket, whether it's a $10 ticket or a $1,000 ticket. Well, I don't think the ticket should be $10, but they don't.
Do you think they should be $1,000?
They don't. No, and they don't need to be 1,000. And I'm not sure that for 10 or 20 miles over the speed limit, they need to be 500. In fact, they might be just fine where they are. So I think that was a mistake to propose fine increases as high as they are for a number of things, like turning in front of a bus. I mean, please, at $250 or $500, I forget what's proposed.
And for 25 miles per hour over the speed limit, that's the one that is the
$1,000
one. Yeah.
Yes. You know, we see this in the criminal justice area with gun violence. We see it here with traffic. Enforcement really is the key. If I'm going to get stopped by a police officer, then I'm not going to disobey the laws.
Well, that hearing is going on right now, discussing it, so I guess we shouldn't get too upset about it until it actually happens.
Yes.
But it's being discussed. All right, let's talk about the mayor. She begins her second year in office this month. How did she do in her first year? What would her report card be? You
know, she put forth a number of appointments that I think were really very good in the area of dealing with a number of different areas that we've had problems with, like with homeless services, some well-respected, nationally respected individuals. In the area of housing and affordable housing, a very well-respected person who's done a lot of work with affordable housing in the district. Some very good appointments, some very good policy priorities like affordable housing, and continuing with improving public education, and we've seen improvements, continue to see improvements there.
Style-wise, how does she work with council?
Well, so let me just say that I think on the policy side, which is really what government's about, we've seen a lot of very positive steps. Style-wise, well, then now you're getting into the politics. And in the politics, there have been a few bumps, and I think we see that in the first year of every first-term mayor.
Okay. I know we're running out low on time, so I want to get to the H Street trolley in Northeast. And it's supposed to start rolling this month. Do you have a date for us?
I think everybody's going to fall over. Probably all massive heart attacks across the district if the H Street streetcar ever actually starts running. I did hear an actual date promised, which I believe was in February. We'll see. The problem with the streetcar was that it was all build first, plan later, and that's a big reason why this has taken so long. I think it could be exciting for H Street. It will make the H Street Northeast corridor very unique and possibly a tourist attraction. You know,
there have been so many sightings of the trolley. It has been going up and down this 2-mile stretch
I've seen
on the dry runs, but nobody's been able to jump on, right?
Yep.
So I think people just cannot wait. Do you think people will be more apt to hop on a trolley than, say, take a bus?
We'll see. I'm inclined to say yes, but we'll see. And to me, that's what's really important. I think it was a mistake to talk about a 22-mile system when we didn't even have the first leg of it built. And with the first leg, we'll see how it actually works. Will it just be for tourists, or will it be just for local commerce, or will it actually be good for commuters? We'll see.
All right. It's been great having you on today.
Thank you.
Council Chairman Phil Mendelson, bringing us up to date on all the goings on in the district.
Thanks for
so
having
much.
me.
And we'll be right back with more News Talk. Stick around.